What is good, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with Tesla and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's going on with the overall market moving forward as we have important data coming out for today, not to mention some big headlines about Tesla. But before I begin into Apple's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100, you are guaranteed 7 free stocks, and all friends very soon in just about 8 days from now. Anyways, as far as Tesla goes, we have a nice inverse head and shoulders like structure. We also are forming a cup and handle if you want to interpret it that way, and the chart is looking more bullish than bearish overall. In order for Tesla to push specifically for today, because even if the chart is bullish overall, it does not mean it's going to push every single day. We need to see Tesla hold above that 180 resistance. So I'll be breaking down more details about this in just a few minutes. Now let's just break down some news about the markets. So for today, Bostic just started their speech. This is going to be very important. Whatever Bostic says could affect the markets. Then we have Barr, Waller, Jefferson, and Bostic all giving speeches throughout the day. So we'll be looking for more speeches at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have Jefferson giving a speech. Then we have some bill auctions at 11:30, but it's all going to be like Fed speakers for the majority of the day today, and we'll see what that causes. For earnings, we just had Wix. We also have Zoom coming out for today, and then later on, do not forget that we have Nvidia's earnings on Wednesday. As far as Wix goes, they actually did very, very well. They beat on EPS and revenue. They had an EPS of $1.29 per share. It's better than expectations, and their revenue is also better than expectations at 419 million, up 12%, with pretty good guidance overall. That's why the share price is up quite a bit. And on top of all of this, the Dow Jones has continued to push quite a bit. Same thing with SPY, but the question is, will we hold these levels? Nvidia has once again its earnings this week. It's a $2.3 trillion company, third largest S&P 500 stock by market cap, which means it has enough power to really affect the entire market's flow. So we want to see what that causes. As far as the U.S. debt goes, it's actually reached about $34.5 trillion and is generating elevated levels of concerns on Wall Street and Washington. We're seeing crazy days where it's been growing and growing and growing. And this is actually something that's going to become a big issue, at least for the long term. So something worth noting is that this is going to be important, at least for us long term. We'll see what this leads to in the future. But right now, there's got to be a lot of fixing that has to be done, in my personal opinion. And last but not least, when it comes to Microsoft, they're also working on its latest AI development after OpenAI and Google have recently announced new AI models. We're expecting Microsoft to announce something very soon as well. So something else is making headlines for now for the markets. As far as Tesla stock goes, U.S. regulator has ended its preliminary review of Tesla's Model X over the seatbelt issues. Now, that's some decent news overall. They've closed a probe into more than 100,000 Tesla Model X vehicles after the automaker issued a quote-unquote recall to fix the front seatbelt failures. That is something else worth noting. With all of this happening, the NHTSA is once again trying to overcome a lot of these issues, and with that happening and with them closing a probe, it's good for Tesla if anything moving forward. There's also some news coming out that Tesla China is launching free supercharging perks for new and existing customers. So this is going to be very useful as well for many of them out there. And you can see right over here, it's offering about 3,100 miles of free supercharging for the first 140 customers who order a Tesla vehicle before June 20th, 2024. So more and more incentives for people, which I think is great. It's going to help incentivize more growth and more buyers, if anything. Anyways, that's it for news. And then what's happening with the economic calendar, as we have a bunch of Fed speakers. So with the Fed speakers, I don't know what they're going to cause. That's why you want to be very open-minded. We have resistance on Tesla near this 179 to 180 area. We have 182 and 185 as levels to watch for. If Tesla were to reject, make sure you watch this 175 zone as a critical support. If we lose that, there's 172, and we have to hold above this to maintain our structure. If we lose 172, we're bearish. I'm going to be looking for a move back down to the 168 area. If we break and hold 180, I will turn more bullish if we can try to close above that. We're going to be looking for a bigger push to 185. Right now, technicals look bullish overall, but for the short term, I think that Tesla is going to dip a little bit. It might actually retest the 177 area, then try to push up towards 180 and just continue to shuffle for now. But we'll have to see if Tesla can try to hold this structure or not. So look for a little dip on Tesla and a rebound, and we'll have to see if Tesla can try to break 180. If we do break it, we're going to be looking for a bigger push to 182 than 185. But for now, I want to say that the overall structure is still bullish for Tesla. We have a nice inverse head and shoulders. There's also a nice cup and handle and a bigger structure here. So this chart favors a little dip that's coming to 177, then possibly a rebound to 180, maybe a little bit higher as long as we hold these levels. If there's some bad piece of news that comes out, always watch your levels just to be safe. But that's what I'm seeing for now. There is upside potential in this chart for the time being. For SPY, for me, SPY is looking very interesting. We're going to be looking to see if SPY is about to get a lower high or not. So I called out these two possibilities. For today, make sure you watch and see, does SPY continue to push and break past this imbalance and then break its all-time high? Are we about to see that? Because we could see during the pre-market we did push to the 530s as we predicted. But the question is, do we get a big bounce here and continue to push past 531.5? If we do so, we're bullish. If we get a rejection right here in the 530 area, we start sinking back down. We lose the 20 EMA, this 529.5 area. Then we could be looking for a dip down to 528 and 526. So I'll be watching to see which way we end up moving. So do we establish a lower high and start sinking, or do we break past that and start pushing higher? As of right now, it's kind of struggling in the 530, so we'll just have to give it some time. It also depends on the Fed speaker, so we'll wait and see. For the QQQ, we pushed a little bit towards 453 exactly as predicted. So this is what I was looking for. Will we break past and start pushing towards all-time highs and breaking past them? So 455.5. Or are we about to reject right here at 453 and start sinking down to 450? Watch and see if we get the rejection. So far, there's a little bit of weakness on the chart right here. I'll watch and see if that ends up being the case, but we have to still lose 451 to dip all the way down to this 450 zone. So watch and see, do we make this lower high and reject, or do we break past this and start pushing? I'll give this a little bit of time. For Nvda, in my personal opinion, has very interesting structure. So it's still holding 437. And watch and see if we get a little dip on Nvidia down towards this 420, the 925 area. Excuse me, guys, the 925 area. We could even tag this trend line before we try to bounce again. So I think Nvidia is on an uptrend overall, but for the shorter term, it's actually kind of downtrending. So the bigger trend is bullish. The shorter term is a little bit bearish right here as we're kind of dipping a bit. So there might be a little pop and then a drop down to fill this gap down here in the 925 area before it tries to bounce. So watch for that. And then for Apple stock, we were range bound. We had 189 as support, 190.5 as resistance. We kind of broke below this towards 188. We're trying to get bought back up in this range. We're showing signs of a little bit of weakness on Apple. If we end up losing 189, look for 188, then 186.5 as our next support. I'll be watching to see how we end up reacting because we're showing a little bit of weakness on Apple compared to the market. That is it, at least for the main five. Just a few more, guys. This is my pre-market video. That's why I'm not going to go over everything. But you guys can see Amazon did push exactly as predicted. I called out 185.5. That's where we ended up going to. And we're watching to see if we get a rejection off this or not. If we get the rejection, we're going to be looking for a dip down to 183. If we break past this, we're looking for 187. We're looking a little bit weak right now. So we'll wait and see if we get that rejection. Meta is also just range bound. Watch 469 support. If we lose that, we're going to be tipping lower. If we hold that, we're going to be bouncing, but there is a chance it might actually dip a little bit. All right. AMC and GameStop real quick. GameStop is just trading sideways. We have resistance at 23.29, support at 22 flat. Still looks like it could actually dip towards 17. And then AMC trading sideways as well. If we continue to fall, we're going to be looking for a test of 4.4, eventually, 4 flat. VIX is up a little bit, but we'll see if we get a big bounce or not. We haven't broken past our 50 EMA yet. If we do break past the 50 EMA, it's going to be a big sign for the VIX that's going to try to pop a little bit. So I'll give this a little bit more time. With that being said, guys, that's it for my analysis. As far as Tesla goes, we'll wait and see what happens with the share price. Like I said before, might get a little dip to the 177 area down to our 20 EMA and watch to see if we get a bounce. The chart is still bullish looking. It does have this imbalance to fill, so we could be looking for a push for 180. A little drop in bounce, and watch to see if we could hold 180. If we hold it and close above it, there's more upside potential. If we come shorts, then Tesla will also come short, so we'll just wait and see. So look for that little drop in a test of 180. Will we get a rejection off there? Will we continue to bounce? We'll wait and see, as it also depends on what the Fed says. Also look for the Fed speakers. We have a bunch of them today, and we'll see how things go. All right. Thank you for listening, guys. Have a great day, and peace out.